Welcome, Leos. This is your May 11th to May 17th forecast. And what we have impacting you the most from an astrological perspective this week is going to be that full moon in Scorpio on May 12th. So that's going to call for you to focus on emotional healing within your home environment and to let go of past grievances to create a harmonious environment. Okay, I just want to see how you're feeling here. So we have the Eight of Wands. So yeah, you're definitely like open and ready. There's a little bit of, you may be on the defense about some things. There may be some conflict, some contrast that you're working through here. And this could be really with your partner here or just in your home environment or your family, even like siblings, parents, or even friends here. So some of you, this could also be just an internal struggle that you're having here. So we have a little bit of contrast here. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, but you definitely have the opportunity to really close out some old cycles and let go of what's not serving you. So this is aligning perfectly with what the overall message is here for you this week. What else? So we have the Fool here. Yeah, start the new journey. Allow the old chapters to close and allow new ones to begin. And this is your energy. I feel like this is what you're wanting. So make it happen. All right, so let's get a couple messages, oracles here. So you releasing your inner rebel and being yourself, creating your own universe. So calling on that creativity within you to help you work through things, to help you have those conversations in a constructive way. So you may even decide like, okay, well, we need to have this hard conversation here, but let's go out to dinner and let's go on a walk and do that. Or, just obviously you want to be in a safe and comfortable environment, but you may decide to be a little creative with it or to approach it in a little bit of a different way here. Okay. What else? So let's see some challenges here that you may have. Okay, you stepping into your power, really trusting and having the confidence to have those conversations, to be honest and open about things. So yeah, there's definitely some things that you may want to address here, and the challenge is really going to be you being able to address that and have those conversations without it getting out of control or out of hand here. Okay. So you definitely want to work on that emotional intelligence and ensure that you're having constructive conversations. And you can set the tone, especially if you're bringing it up. You can really set the tone for how the communication is going to work and how to go. And there's even instances like you don't have to do this, but if you want to take like a more structured approach to things, you can absolutely do that. And you can say like, okay, we want to have this conversation, but we want to try to keep it positive. We want to try to avoid kind of like these particular words or these things. And again, it just depends on the relationship you have and if you are into that type of communication. But there's always room to grow and to say like, okay, let's have a conversation without cursing or without judging or without pointing fingers, or there's always opportunities to grow and to elevate your conversation and communication with your partner. And I'm not saying that with any judgments, and I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying, even myself, like, yeah, there's always ways that I'm finding I could communicate better. So just it's from these things are being said with love as I'm channeling them down. Okay. So we also have some temptation here. So you may even be tempted to stick with some old ways and habits that you have. There could also be like specific vices as well. Smoking, drinking. Even for some of you, this could be like you really knowing that working on your health and wellness is going to help the relationship because you'll have more energy to spend time together or to go do the things that you enjoy. But you may decide like, okay, it's coming up as a challenge here. So you may decide like, yeah, I'm not doing that this week. You know what I mean? So just be mindful of those ways that you are being held back and you are keeping yourself back from expanding, from growing, from strengthening your bonds and your affections and your relationships. Okay. All right. So what else? We have the 9 of Pentacles here as well. Okay. Your finances may also be impacted, or it could be a topic of discussion. That could be something that needs to be addressed and needs to be talked about here with your partner, or just with yourself. You may need to come to some understandings and be honest about what's going on here and what adjustments and changes that you need to be making here as old cycles are closing and new chapters are opening. So it's really about like, what do you want that new chapter to look like? And I feel like for some of you, you want that to be one where you're more financially secure. And so that's why this is coming up as an issue, as something that's like, okay, this is something that you say you want, but then you still spent, $1,000 this weekend just on partying. And that's just an example. I'm not saying that you do that, but, it's just an example of ways where, you may want to grow, but then you find yourself kind of self-sabotaging yourself in some ways, and that's prohibiting you from really taking the steps forward that you want to. Okay. So what else? All right. So we have marriage and we have take a wow. So for some of you, if you were looking for, I know we have Mother's Day here that's happening. If you were looking for something particular to happen, this could mean, it doesn't have to mean for everyone, but it could mean that, that may be something that's not an option just at this point in time. That doesn't mean it'll never be an option, but it just may mean that there's some things that your partner and you are continuing to work through. So one or more parties, it could even be you, may not necessarily be ready for that right now. Okay. And there may be some growing that needs to happen on one or both sides. Okay. So you apply this to how you see fit, but this is what is coming out. So definitely always going to be truthful about that. Okay. All right, so let's look at, okay, so what I'm hearing here with this immature is that there are things that you can do or you can suggest to your partner. Again, apply this to however it fits, but there are ways that you can grow. Okay, so we talked about communications as one way. Finances is another way. Getting rid of some vices, some things that are stopping you from making progress. So that is what I'm seeing here with this immature card, that, yeah, there's definitely some opportunities here for you to grow. Okay. All right. And we're going to just look at some wants and desires as well as some fears that may come up for you here. Okay, so you can definitely, I hear immediately like this fear with the finances and like, oh, I don't know, I'm not that strong, I can't do it. But you can absolutely do it. You can do anything and more that you desire and you wish for. So don't go into it thinking you can't do it. And also don't set it up. Don't set up a plan for yourself that you're not open or willing or able to accomplish. So if you say like, okay, I'm going to take, I get paid weekly, I'm going to take $100 out of that and immediately put that into a savings and not touch that. If you know that there ain't no way in this world that you're going to do that, then don't set that up for yourself. Say, okay, I'm going to start with $50. Okay, do something that's more reasonable, that you're more likely to accomplish. And then look how powerful you're going to feel, how strong, how confident you're going to feel when you're able to accomplish that. And there's nothing wrong with doing that for a couple of weeks, or even, if it's like 1 or 2 weeks, and saying like, okay, I can do the 50, now let's go to 60 or let's go to 75. Do it that way. Take small steps towards your goals. because those tiniest steps are going to create the biggest accomplishment for you. And like I said, you have no idea how proud you're going to be of yourself when you're able to consistently accomplish your goals. And even just doing it one time is amazing, but you're working on a plan here. So we're talking about getting that consistency in place to where you are able to consistently accomplish the things that you want to do and you set out to do. And I don't want to discount any of the progress that you've made, because you have tried this before and it maybe didn't pan out exactly how you wanted it to, but you put in the effort. So you are putting in effort, and you do want to do this, and you do want to accomplish this, and it can happen for you. It absolutely can happen for you. We have Queen of Wands here. There's definitely this opportunity. We have the queens here, we have the king here, so calling on that divine feminine aspects. And I'm also hearing sort of like that motherly instinct, or that provider type of instinct is coming through as well. So you really like stepping into that power and trusting who you are and being confident in the person that you are. And I'm seeing like the third eye here in a couple areas. So you really focusing on opening that third eye and connecting with source and receiving those downloads and those messages and that guidance that you're looking for, because sometimes you may seek that. You may be like, look, source, I need a little bit of assistance here. You may need to do that. You may need to call on your guides to assist you, and absolutely do that. Okay, there's a lot of signs and synchronicities and messages that are being sent down. So are you receiving that? And I feel that some of you are receiving that, but you may be ignoring it, or you may be like, okay, I'm gonna just put this here because I'm not quite ready to tackle that yet. And that's okay. You have to do things when you're ready, because that's when things will happen for you, because you'll take inspired action toward it, as opposed to like just like, oh well, you know, some random person doing readings on the internet said I need to start on my goals, so I guess I'll try it. No, do it when you feel inspired to do it. But just know and recognize that there is this opportunity now to do it. Okay? So let's see, where else do we want to go here? All right, so we have love and laughter and passion coming through. So try to be creative with the changes that you're working towards. So if we are trying to create better, stronger relationships with our partner, then maybe there is something that you two can do creatively. Okay? Maybe there's a project you can work on. Maybe you can watch shows together. You can go for walks together. You can exercise together. You can do things with the children together. Okay? So really try to allow your creativity to be ignited here. And if you need to meditate, if you need to do some self-care practices to help you with ideas, then absolutely do that, because we have that insight here. So it's like there's information, there's messages, there's knowledge, there's wisdom that can be shared and is being shared. And again, it's just a matter of if you're connecting with it or not. Okay? So now let's look at some outcomes here. What are some potential outcomes? So we have the Seven of Pentacles and we have the Queen of Cups. Okay. I feel like this can go one of two ways, and it's really going to depend on what you do this week. So if you come into this like, I'm going to be flexible, I'm going to be open, I'm going to embrace change, I'm going to embrace the connection with my intuition and higher self and source. I'm going to listen to those downloads and messages. I'm going to watch out for signs and synchronicities. I'm going to have constructive conversations about the things that are most important to me and are a priority to me. Then you have a much better chance of being successful, bringing in those divine feminine aspects and really managing your emotions well. Using compassion, empathy, understanding. Okay, you have a chance to be successful here. If you do the opposite of all those things, Then it is also here that you could be feeling really defensive. You could be feeling like your needs are not being met. You could be feeling or experiencing even a loss. Yeah, you can just kind of go in the complete opposite direction if you don't really take time and take care to manage your emotions well, and to have like constructive conversations where you're really working together to identify solutions that are a win-win, where both parties are gaining and both parties have a balanced, fair resolution. Okay, so what else? So we have the Page of Cups, and also, let's see, the Two of Cups. Yeah, wonderful. I love it. I love this here because you absolutely, and I feel like we're leaning towards the area of you being successful here with these cups coming out here. So you taking that time, taking those moments to really work with your partner, or to go within and allow yourself to heal, allow yourself to just be in a state where you understand your emotions, you understand the things that you're supposed to be learning out of these experiences, and you're not letting it overwhelm you, and you're choosing the attitude that you want to have, and you're feeling how you want to feel, regardless of if, because for some of you, you may have a partner that may not be on board, that may not want to kind of talk through these things, or that's very set in their ways, like, nope, this is just how it's going to be. But it really depends on your attitude, your mood, and the way that you still work to resolve these issues the best that you can, because we know we don't have control over anyone else. We can only control what we do. So there's still space for you to come into union with you, and to continue your healing journey, to continue your evolution. And then you will decide what is best for you and your partner as far as that is concerned. But there's still, like I said, this opportunity in the meantime for you to become one with yourself, and for you to, just because your partner may be like, oh, I'm not having that discussion, or I'm not, gonna talk this through in a constructive way with you. I'm not gonna do that. Like, yeah, everyone has free will, but if you decide, okay, well, maybe let's come back to it, or I'm just going to say these things, and this is what I need moving forward, so I'll give you a little bit of space and time to think about that, but we're going to come back to this. So, just whatever you decide. I don't want to, tell you what the best option is for you. Only you know that based off of your relationship with your partner. But, again, it's about how you decide, how you react in those moments. And if you continue to stay positive, you continue to feel how you want to feel, you to get through things easier. Okay? And you not letting anyone else change your emotions and change your unconditionally loving, positive vibes is really the move for you. Okay? So let's see, what didn't we get? Oh, we didn't go here. So let's go here with some closing messages. All right, so we have that law of polarity, with there being two sides to everything. So I think that is something wonderful to mention here, because we are speaking about romantic partnerships and relationships, and there's always two sides to everything. There's more sides, actually, and we know that. So just be mindful and try to view things from a higher perspective. Be the observer in the situation here. So take yourself out of it, take your emotions out of it, and try to view it from that perspective, and that'll allow you to see different sides of the coin, essentially. And hopefully that'll help you to be more compassionate and be more understanding, and not allow these negative characteristics or traits or things that won't help you to resolve your problems constructively. So really try not to allow that to get in the way. And in particular, if you needed any examples, they're all listed right here with arrogance, dominance, attention-seeking, stubbornness, self-centeredness, impatience, drama. Yeah, those are all energies that are lower vibrational that you want to work on not allowing to get in your way here. And then we have the divine masculine here as well. So that really brings us back full circle to managing our emotions in an emotionally intelligent way to be successful. All right, Leo. So those are the messages I have for you. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share if you found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.